Hello again, Gary Stearman with another edition of Prophecy Watchers. Avi Lipkin with me today. I've got in front of me his 6 books, by the way, which we're offering as the Avi Lipkin package for $59.95. And I won't talk about these 5, but this one, which is entitled Return to Mecca, is my very favorite Avi Lipkin book because Avi, it establishes the importance of Mecca in a very special way. And today we're going to talk about Mecca, but we're also going to talk about a people I bet you haven't heard of. They're called the Houthi. Who are the Houthi?
Okay, well, the Houthis are an Arab group in Yemen, Yemenite group, and they are denominationally Shiite. They are not fanatic like Hezbollah. They're not fanatic like the regime in Iran. They are liberal Shiites, kind of like the Alawites in Syria, who are also considered too liberal and heretic, actually, by the more fanatic Shiites. But they are allies with Iran militarily, and Iran is helping these people to overthrow the Sunni regime in Yemen. Now, many people who may be watching this program don't have a clue what Yemen is, or maybe even what Saudi Arabia is, or what Mecca is, but there is a very, very big power struggle going on, and has been going on for decades, over who is going to control the 2 most important holy sites of Islam, Mecca and Medina. Now, Mecca is a relatively new city. Medina has been around for thousands of years. One of the contentions in my book is that Jethro, the high priest of Midian, Midian was a kingdom, but Medina was the city of that kingdom.
Very close in sound, Medina, Midian.
Yes, it's the same root in Hebrew and in Arabic. And indeed, one of the names of Medina is Yathrib. Yathrib in Arabic means Jethro.
Now, we are really watching, as this program is being made today, we're really watching the southern tip, if you will, of the Saudi Arabian Peninsula, where something has just happened. And Avi thinks it's a very important event involving the Houthi tribe, I guess you would call them.
Right. What happened was that for many decades, until the Arab Spring in February of 2011, Yemen was ruled by a dictator by the name of Saleh. And Saleh, he was there like Mubarak in Egypt, like Gaddafi in Libya, Ben Ali in Tunisia. These dictators were there for decades. And then with the Arab Spring, demonstrations broke out against all these leaders. And finally, the end result in Yemen was that Saleh resigned. Generals came in, other people came in, and to make a long story short, Yemen is one big anarchy now. And in the vacuum of the anarchy, the Houthis have risen to prominence. And one of the reasons these Shiite Houthis have risen to prominence is because of the backing that they are receiving from Iran. Iran is the mother country of the Shiites. And there are ships unloading at this very moment troops and weaponries in Yemen, destined for the Houthis. Yemen is now a key player in the south of the Arabian Peninsula, and they're only 400 miles away from Mecca.
Now, let me interrupt. I brought out an atlas, and though this is going to be clumsy, we're going to hold this atlas up and allow Avi to point out Yemen in Saudi Arabia.
Okay, now this here is Arabia. Arabia includes Yemen, Oman, the Emirates. Okay, so here, Yemen, if you look at Yemen, Sana'a is the capital of Yemen, and they're about 400 miles drive along the coastal road from, the name of the fishing village is Jeddah, and then from the fishing village, the port, is a short drive to the holy city of Mecca. And actually, not too long ago, there was a battle in which 3,000 Muslims killed each other. Shiite Iranian soldiers came to Arabia with guns, and they tried to commandeer the Black Stone, the Kaaba in Mecca, take it away from the Sunni control. The Sunni army won, the Saudi army won. And ever since then, the Saudis have come to understand and realize the threat to Saudi and Sunni Islam from the Iranian Shiite Islam. And so Yemen basically has become a proxy in this war against Sunni Saudi Arabia.
Now, let's suppose that the Houthis, backed by the Iranians, managed to forge northward and to take Mecca. What would happen in that event?
Well, there is a very popular children's game in America known as Capture the Flag. And when you capture the flag, it's the end of the game. In other words, kind of like in the bad old days of the Protestant Reformation, the wars of Reformation, 300 years in which Catholics and Protestants were slaughtering each other. Praise God, these wars of the Protestant Reformations are over. Catholics and Protestants kind of get along today, but that's not the case in Islam. The Shiites and the Sunnis have been slaughtering each other for 1,400 years, and there is no reconciliation in sight here. So this is going to be a battle in which one side wins, one side loses, or maybe both sides lose, because I predict what's going to happen is the collapse of the Saudi regime, the killing of the King of Saudi Arabia, and many of the princes of the royal family.
Quick question. What would that do to ISIS? You've got ISIS over here in Syria.
Okay. This is, you'll forgive me for behaving like a former Israeli army spokesman, but I like to have the maps to show this. Saudi Arabia will be invaded in a number of places from the east. Here is Iran, and they can easily come in. Kuwait is 50-50 Shiite Sunni. Bahrain is 70% Shiite, but it's ruled by 30% Sunnis. There are a lot of these disgruntled people here who are Shiites. All the wealth is concentrated in the hands of the Saudi royal family, which are Sunnis. So Iran theoretically has a stranglehold from the Straits of Hormuz all the way up to Kuwait, and they can come in from here. At the same time, the Iranian Navy is sailing to Yemen, unloading supplies, unloading soldiers. Iranian ships have been known to go through the Suez Canal, and they could even drop off commandos on the coast here, very close to Mecca. So if the Houthis indeed are in control in Sana'a, there's a coastal road here that goes 400 miles up to Jeddah and Mecca. 400 miles you can do in one day. So my prediction is that the Saudi king will call on Egypt to come in across the pond. Egypt is only 100 miles away. They could come in with their troops to back the Saudi kingdom. ISIS would be pulled down from Iraq into Saudi Arabia. So Sunnis would come from the north, Sunnis would come from the west, Shiites would come from the east, and Shiites would come up from the south, and it would be the perfect storm. This is like the prophecy of Ishmael. His hand will be against all his brethren's hands, and all his brethren's hands will be against his hand, and he will dwell in the face of his brethren, meaning everybody's going to be fighting everybody.
We only have a second left here, but in just the remaining few seconds, do you see this stabilizing or destabilizing the Middle East in general?
Well, I see a complete destabilization because in the end, the ISIS people have said a number of things. They said they're going to blow up the Black Stone, the Kaaba,
yes,
because ISIS are purists, and they said that Muhammad was wrong. The Prophet Muhammad was wrong in co-opting the Black Stone, a pagan symbol, into the purest, true Islam. Secondly, ISIS is going to be blowing up the oil wells because, according to the ISIS ideology, what made Christianity great is the economy. The way to destroy Christianity is to destroy the economy. How do you destroy the economy? You deny the Christian world economy the oil, which includes China, India, Japan, and Europe, which are not what we would consider American Western Christianity.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
You can read about Mecca and its importance in Return to Mecca, part of the Avi Lipkin package, yours for $59.95. Check out the books on our Prophecy Watchers website. Avi, we don't have any more time. I wish we did. We'll try to continue this. I'm Gary Stearman, wishing you a great day in the Lord. Keep watching, everybody.